Vic Fangio has recently been named head coach of the Denver Broncos, and I think it's a pretty interesting decision. While of course his detractors will probably say, well, the 2 times he had success was with the San Francisco 49ers defense that was very good, and the Chicago Bears defense that was very good. However, I think he deserves credit for that, not blame. The style of defense he likes to run is a style of defense that can have the ball get moved on you, but it's also the type of defense that if you have talented players, they can absolutely make plays. Let me show you what I mean with this play. This is when he was defensive coordinator under Jim Harbaugh in the San Francisco 49ers days, and as you see, it's going to be a cover 3 zone, and those are the routes that the Cowboys receivers will be running. And if you take a look, there will be a receiver who could get open right about there. That ends up being exactly what happens. Romo reads the play quickly, makes a quick throw, and they're able to pick up a first down. So, pretty simple, right? I mean, it seems like a pretty basic zone scheme, and they're able to pick up the first down. And the reality is, yeah, that's what it was. That's exactly what happened there. So why is that a good thing? Well, let me show you with this play. If you take a look, Dallas actually has 2 tight ends in the game on this play. However, despite that, San Francisco still just has your standard 3 linemen, 4 linebackers in on the play. This now means that Dallas can pretty easily just send one guy out to block each San Francisco lineman, and it could be very easy for them to pick up a first down. That means that Dallas can just have one-on-one blocks all across the board, and it could be very easy for them to run for a pretty decent gain. If you look, the next closest 49ers that will be unblocked are pretty far away. Because of this, it ends up being another pretty decent run. So again, you're probably thinking, why am I showing you these plays, as these are very clearly holes in Fangio's system? I mean, this is not what you want to have happen if you're a defensive coordinator, right? Well, yes and no. If you notice, what do those 2 plays have in common? Well, no one on defense really made a particularly good play. That's what they had in common. This defense relies on defenders to make good plays, which you could say is a bad thing for a defensive coordinator. You don't want to have to rely on your defense to be making good plays. However, when you have a talented defense like the 49ers did, like the Bears did, and like the Denver Broncos do, that means you can kind of rely on your defensive players to make good plays. There's the old cliche that I do think is true, especially when it comes to defense, where it's the coach's job is to not lose the game for the players. The player's job is to play the game. And Fangio does run a system that allows players to make plays. Like, take this play for example. It's going to be a cover 3 zone with a shadow on a receiver. And if you take a look, there is a Saint that's going to be running an out route to that zone in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, which means that the safety who's in charge of guarding that bottom right hand corner of the screen is going to have to run deep. This now means that the out route cutting underneath that zone could end up getting wide open. So as you see, so far this play is working out perfectly. There's a receiver running deep, and so therefore that safety has to continue following him deep. Now there's a receiver cutting right across that 40-yard line, and Breeze is going to try to throw it there as he appears to be wide open. However, what ends up happening is the 49ers defensive back makes a great play, jumps in front of the route, and intercepts it. I mean, this is a great play, admittedly, but it's a great play because Fangio trusts his guys. Basically, this whole system is saying that, hey, if you're an offense, you're going to have to fit through some tight windows. Your receivers are going to have to make plays, otherwise you're not going to be able to pass the ball against us. It works the same way with running the ball. As you see, Buffalo has a tight end in on this game, and if you look, Chicago still only has 2 defenders in that middle of the field. They're running a nickel package, and they don't feel like they need any more than 2 linebackers since they trust their defensive line so much more than Buffalo's offensive line. As you see, Buffalo is actually going to be double teaming both Bears interior linemen. However, it's still not going to work out very well. Chicago easily wins the battle in the trenches despite having a numbers disadvantage, and they're able to stop the run for no gain. Again, these are good players making plays, but that's the whole style of this defense, is trusting your defense to make good plays. You don't have to come out with some perfect scheme that allows them to win. You don't have to put opposing offenses in a position where they have to make a great play to beat you. Just put them in a position where they have to make a good play to beat you, and trust that more often than not, your defense will make a good play as opposed to their offense making a good play. I personally don't think his system would work with a bad defense. However, he doesn't have to have a bad defense. He has a good defense, so what does that matter? If he were to be in a situation where he had a lack of talent on defense, then he probably would switch up his system. However, with that Broncos defense seemingly playing well season after season ever since that Super Bowl, I fully expect them to continue playing well under Fangio.